Hello everybody, good evening, welcome along to PSGL here for the season opener of season 26. F1's here in Austria, and we've come to the own way, back again with better stream quality this time, I'm guaranteeing it, I hope. And with me, back from the Esports Cup, we've brought him in as the F1 commentator for the full time. Austin, welcome back.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm very excited, and first round, I think it's one of the best tracks on the calendar. It certainly is the one with the shortest lap time on the whole calendar. It is Austria, a track I very much enjoy, and I'm pretty sure most drivers do. Do you, Owen?
Sort of. I like it. It's alright. It'll do. Hopefully we get hopefully we get an Austria style race rather than a Styria style race. I don't mind. So yeah, it's a good track. Should be a good track. With these drivers, should be good. These are the best drivers on PlayStation, blah 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 blah. We've all said this a million times. This is the best grid on PlayStation. We gotta say, I'm very much looking forward to seeing how these guys get on. And yeah, they'll give us a good race regardless.
Oh, that's for sure. The big question is going to be, I think, can anyone beat Danny MG? I mean, he's only been in 2 races last season, and he's been absolutely phenomenal in them. And Danny, I mean, he's got the #1 time on Austria on the leaderboards of all the people who haven't cheated, we should say, because if you do actually check the lap times on the time trial leaderboards, you're going to find sometimes a 56, 57 seconds. That's a little bit outrageous, and that's clearly some sort of bug, glitch, cheat, whatever you want to call it. The first proper lap time you will find is from Danny MG, a 1 minute 2.0, and that's pretty much where we expect the pole time to be if, and I think we need to say this because it is Austria, it doesn't rain.
Well, this is it. Rain is a feature of Austria, especially on the F1 games. It always tends to get pretty wet. I think I've already had a wet race online. I don't do much online racing. It happens a lot here. So that's certainly something to look out for in qualifying or the race. We had a wet quali last season. I'm actually hoping we don't get that again because, as you said, it's short track on the calendar. We should see this be incredibly close. I want to see exactly what these guys do at the top level in this first round because I reckon we'll be within half a second for most of these guys. It's going to be incredibly close. I don't want that to be ruined by rain.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely fantastic here. We've seen in the F2 earlier in qualifying how close it is. We had the top 14 within 6/10 of each other, the top 13 within half a second. Expect something similar for this track here. I mean, you got to remember, it's only 10 corners, and that's very generous, we have to say. I mean, turn 2 is barely a corner. Turn 5 is barely a corner. Turn 8 is barely a corner. So it's really more like 7 corners around this track. And most of them, you can't do that much wrong. I mean, yeah, turn 1's tricky, final corner's tricky, turn 9 as well. But you look at turn 3, it's just this standard hairpin. It's so slow, you can't really do much. Like, you can't get it that wrong. Turn 4, similar thing. These are rather easy corners. There's a reason on the game the track is considered, I think it's very easy. Yeah, the track difficulty, as described by the game, by F1 2020, is very easy. Which, I always find these a bit weird, but I think for Austria, more than any other track, it probably fits the bill because it's just going to be so close. The tiniest little mistake can be the difference between P1 and P10.
The tiniest little track extension as well could ruin your lap. We've seen that strict corner cutting has finally lived up to its name. It's annoyed a lot of drivers, it's ruined a lot of practice laps, and it's caused quite a lot of stress for drivers already. And it's certainly, again, going to be one of these features in qualifying. I know you said turn 3 isn't a problem, but I've also found it was worse on the beta, I'll be honest, but turn 3's exit can be still quite annoying on the traction as well. That probably is going to be quite a difficult point in qualifying and the race as well, in all fairness. But yeah, I think the very easy might be a little bit deceptive there. I reckon we'll see a lot of mistakes tonight. And I think they'll all be under a little bit of pressure, because not only will this championship be worth, you know, clout, Wall of Fame and all that. Hall of Fame, not Wall of Fame. well, you could put it on the wall, Hall of Fame, but you also get a prize now in terms of money. You get money. There's a £200 prize pot, only goes to 3 people, but still, we've got money up for grabs. 120 quid for the winner. Won't get you a wheel, or a very good one, but still, I think they'll all have one anyway. They'll probably just go out for a few nights out.
Most of them probably do.
Once we're done lockdown, that is. £50 for second place and £30 for third. So that gives you a little bit of extra incentive, not just for the title, but to go for a top 3 charge. And so it should give us something to look at all season long.
I mean, all you have to do is get second place, and you've basically already paid for next year's game.
Oh yeah, that's a good point actually. Not that you'll want it. Maybe that'll go more towards your PS5, I reckon.
Oh yeah.
It'll be coming out by that point, won't it? I wonder how close it'll actually be to PS5 coming out then. I wonder if they'll put F1 2020 on that. I doubt it being Codemasters, but that could be going towards that as well, I guess. But certainly, again, prize funds is always nice. And yeah, Danny, I'm sure, will be loving the fact that he's the favourite coming into this as the drivers get ready to go racing.
And I just looked through. All 20 drivers are the main drivers. The 2 reserves, Komita, Samubin, and Vierti Aero, are not being called upon here tonight. But most likely, they will get their call-ups at some point over the course of the season.
And speaking of those grids, let's just quickly go through those because we've seen quite a lot of changes since last season. With so many more sign-ups, we've got like 11 tiers now instead of like 6 or 7 or whatever it was last season. It's gone up massively.
It was 7.
And yeah, this inevitably means the F1 grid's changed a bit. The champion, Jarno, we sort of knew he was going to do this. He's gone. He's cleared off. He's off doing other things. And that... It's good for Danny again. He'll be loving the fact that he is the favourite. He's in his McLaren, but the rest of the grid, we've got Louis and Jordan, the BDG boys, both of them in the Mercedes. Ferrari have got another BDG man. We've got Fabi there and Waters as well in the Ferrari. Red Bull, Blizzard, pole sitter here last season, and Liam. I think they were teammates in there last season, so they're sticking to their Red Bull. They're using my philosophy there. I love the Red Bull, and they do too. Ash Best and Danny in the McLaren, they'll be eyeing those Constructors' Championship, won't they, really? Ash Best, he couldn't ask for a better teammate, I guess, could he, really?
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, Danny, of all people, he's going to love this season.
I wonder how many people were begging in his DMs, Danny's DMs, to get that spot. He'll be very happy with it.
I'm not so sure about that, because obviously most of these drivers are part of some sort of esports team, whether it's BDG, CRG, VSR, IGK boys being in the same team as well. We're going to get to that. I think the only ones who really were probably in his DMs maybe TTG Recon, because apart from that, everyone's sort of like with their teammates from the same organization. Mostly. Maybe Valters, because he's the only NWS driver.
Alright, let's quickly go through the rest of the grid then. We've got Renault boys, we've seen one already. Casper, first one out on track. His teammate is Tactician. Alfa Romeo have Sparks and Recon. Racing Points have got Onyx and Feynman. AlphaTauri, as you say, IGK teammates Gil and Zeus. We saw they teaming up a bit in the Esports Cup, weren't they, those two? So we'll see how they get on in a full-time season now. Haas have got Noel and Tableclan. Tableclan won a few races in F3 last season. He was very good. If he was there the whole season, I wasn't winning that championship, which is probably why he's in F1 now. I got very lucky, but he should do quite well.
Tableclan raced in 2 races, round 8 and round 9, last season in the F3. Won both of them. Did not participate in any other races there. Only had 2 races. Well, he just won them both. So he made the jump up from F3 to F1. And certainly, it's not going to be that easy this time around.
And then the last team, we've got Williams, Faster Racer, Prinens. Hope I've said that one right. But yeah, that is our grid then. We've already got laps starting. As we say, it's a very short lap round here. Looking at low 1 minute 2s, and maybe if you get very lucky with a slipstream that you're not allowed, you'll get a 1 minute 1. And that is important. Slipstreams, sort of prohibited. We don't like slipstreams being in these. I know a lot of teammates, you can see on the map, are running sort of, right beside each other, but there should be no toes going on. That's why Casper's all on his own. Doesn't have to worry about his teammates. It's not allowed. And there's a few other rules as well. We've got the pit lane entry, as always. You've got to stay committed onto the right hand side early. Make sure you're on the inside, not cutting across, going too late. It's a tricky pit lane, this one. There's nothing really much you can do except that, as Casper sets the first time of the day. We'll see how many people can beat that on the first run. But yeah, there's just a couple of mandatory rules you've got to keep your eye on. And then the other one, Austria midday. Again, the usual, sun blinds you, and you don't want to be blinded in a qualifying lap or in the race if you're trying to race someone.
Well, the sun doesn't actually blind the drivers anymore, because the session timer that is across all PSGL sessions here in Austria is set to midday. So turn one is no longer the sort of blinding spot.
Oh,
where
Louis
you
spun.
can't see. Oh.
Sorry to interrupt there, but Louis, on his first lap on no line this season, remember, everyone's going to have to go on no assists. Louis, he's not used to that, obviously, has gone for a spin early on. He can't do that too often. That's the non-corner turn 8 that he's been to that, so I wonder if he's just got a bit wide there.
Yeah, thankfully no damage, but of course the lap is over and done with, and he's going back into the pit lane. But yeah, it's a bit surprising, I have to say. Maybe he already started spinning at turn 7.
Could well have done that.
I didn't see it, but obviously turn 7 is quite a tricky corner. You take a lot of speed through there. You want to carry as much speed as possible. Turn 8 is basically a non-corner, but if you already start sliding out of turn 7, then of course trying to catch that when the next sort of corner bend rather is coming up, then you know that's going to put you in trouble. And maybe that's what we've seen here with Louis, as more and more drivers have done their first lap, and we see the top 13, all the drivers make that the top 14 who have set a lap time all within 8/10 of each other. That is mental.
Yes, hopefully a sign of things to come, that nice and close. But it was 6 people who had sort of bad first laps. That's why there's a few going for second laps, as Table Clan now goes into the top 10 in his Haas. And well, he's just fallen outside that actually, with Noel, his teammate, going to P7. But yeah, that's interesting then to see a few people already going for 2 laps on the set of sauce. I'm expecting everyone to qualify in the sauce anyway, and these are only released sort of slight laps, so it's not a surprise massively to see multiple laps on the set of tyres. You'd expect the final set to maybe only do 1, but yeah, it should be a pretty simple one-stop, honestly. Soft to medium, maybe soft to hard if you have a bad start, or maybe soft to medium to soft if there's a late safety car or something like that. But it should be really a one-stop, this one, and a simple one at that.
Yeah, there could be the alternate strategy depending on your personal tyre wear, starting on the mediums or the hards respectively, and then going on to softs late on in the race. But either way, it is going to be the one stop most likely, unless we get some sort of let's call them safety car shenanigans, and we have some sort of disruption of the race, which, you know, it always makes for some interesting racing if you do have the safety car come out. But we'll see. We've seen it before here, Austria. It is a track where everyone's so close, so bunched up. We have the 3 DRS zones as well, so certainly hard to shake the car behind that some incidents may happen. But then again, these are the best of the best drivers, and they know, not only are they quick, they know their racecraft.
That's a good point, yeah. They should know what they're doing. I think last season, in fairness, we saw probably the best finish we saw to any race in a last season, where we saw Jarno and Sparks going side by side at the very end. And so, push comes to shove, they'll find creative places to overtake. Mind you, Jarno's move wasn't legal. He ended up falling from 1st to 4th, I think, in the end. But the point is, if they get to it, they'll even find a turn 10 on this track. One thing to point out, by the way, the numbers on the cars. I know a PC got an update earlier where the driver numbers are actually the driver numbers rather than the official F1 driver numbers, if that makes sense. So in other words, he isn't actually running a 44, Jordan. That's just really annoying, that. But that should be fixed for next week, so everyone can show their number 15s, because it's the best number. It
will not only be fixed for next week, most likely it will be fixed for the next PSGL races already, which I think happen on. Well, it might be a little. It might be a little close for tomorrow, but definitely for Thursday. Yeah, definitely for Thursday. It might be that the update comes out over the course of tomorrow. Hopefully, rather early on, if it does, but usually does around early afternoon. So if not, it will come out probably before Thursday.
Livy there has had 2 laps go wrong for him, I think, or at least it certainly wasn't valid at the end of that one. His fast race goes P1. We're watching Danny, who's currently up in his middle sector, looking to try and get this into the 2.2s, which he is currently on course to do. There's a slow Alfa Romeo on the inside there. That could well get in Danny's way if he doesn't get a move on. Raycon that is, and he has been able to get out of the way. As Danny, was a bit of a slide at the last corner. That could cost him. Let's see. It doesn't cost him. He goes P1 by half a tenth.
It's Danny. What do you expect? Come on, it's Danny. Meanwhile, Blizzard comes across the line to go up to P9. Fabi is also setting his first lap time. Still hasn't invalidated. I hope I didn't jinx him with that. I did not, thankfully. Oof. That's always the worst as a commentator, isn't it? And he goes up to P16. But I mean, look at that. We have 18 drivers just over 0.6 away from each other. Let's disregard Gil for a second. He's just a quarter of a second off of Wouters, but that's just incredible. And then we have, look who's the only guy who's falling out of that. That's BDG Louis, by the way. I mean,
yes. Not going too well for him, is it? This is 2 laps that went wrong now for him. He's only got half a session left. He's got to get ignore bankers now. He's just going to start setting laps that are competitive quickly. That's really put him on the back foot. Because it's only half second between the whole field. But when you only have now 2 official attempts compared to everyone else who's already put 2 or 3 times on the board, that could be quite the pressuring situation for Louis, who was expected to be in the top 3, I guess, really this season. Not the best start so far.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, for Louis, the expectation is to at least get one of the cash prizes and ultimately be in that top 3. Maybe even challenge Danny for the win of the championship. We'll see about that. It might be that Danny maybe misses some of the races because of the F1 Esports Pro Series. If he does get drafted, if he does get picked, that might very well happen, and that could open the door for some other drivers to jump in there and snatch the win away from him.
Unfortunately, we're holding him hostage until that happens, so he's not going to get in there for a while. We've got control over him for now. I'll take his spot if he wants, but he's here for the long haul, unfortunately. As Raycon starts a lap himself, he's down in 15th, maybe a bit disappointing for him based on what we were sort of saying earlier on, but still time to go, 7 minutes, at least he has a lap on the board. And hello, by the way, to everyone in the stream, all 60 of you. Nice to see you all. Hope you're all enjoying your Monday evening. Monday evening's just got a lot more exciting, I'd imagine. We've got 14 weeks of this, so do stick around. Should be a good time. No break as well. There was going to be a break originally in the middle, as Raycon, I think, has abandoned that lap. But some races got cancelled again, so we don't have to worry about the break. We can just go flat out, which is lovely. Well, for us, not for F1, obviously. But then again, do you really want to go to America in this time? Probably not. I'd stay here on a Monday. You're safer here on a Monday. As Gil,
I have to say, I find it a little bit more intriguing to have this sort of American schedule where they go 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. local time, and then for us it's evening prime time. That's where F1 should be. It should be a prime time slot, not some sort of early afternoon.
I think Japan gets that for every race.
No, Japan's early in the morning.
Well, no, it's early in the morning for us, but that would mean that their races, when they do them, they'll be like prime time. It'd be brilliant for them.
No. So the way F1 does it usually is it's always, or most times, obviously night race is a bit different, but for every sort of day race, it's 2 or 3 p.m. local time.
Well, no, as in, maybe I didn't explain this too well. It's go always, that's a creative line to the penalty, and it's not the race, so you shouldn't get into penalties for that. Obviously, Japan, their actual race is in the middle of the day for them. As in, if they're watching, say, the British Grand Prix, that's prime time for them. They get that for most European races.
Yes.
They must be loving this season.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Has Louis abandoned again? He has abandoned again.
Has he? Oh wow, yeah. What? Has he?
Well, he was certainly slow.
He just switched on to... Yeah, there you go, 7 seconds, yep. That is 1 minute 9, that's not exactly... it's a banker, but it's not a good banker, let's just say that. But still, there's plenty of time left, 5 minutes, and with the lap only being 1 lap long, you gotta remember.
Oh, Danny's invalidated.
He still has plenty of shots left to get a good one in here. And looking at it right now is Vasta Racer. He's bringing the fight to Danny, I think. 1 minute 2.1. We're getting closer and closer to what I predicted earlier. 1 minute 2.0. That's the expected pole time. And I think over the course of the session we will get there. But that means that whoever... Oh, and Louis
having a
again.
shocking time, isn't he? That was dreadful through turn 6. He's only got 4 minutes left. He's last by a long way.
Mm-hmm.
This is not going to plan for him.
It's very, very worrying, I have to say. He's going to try another one right away.
Well, what does he do then? Does he do that really? And then if he gets this one wrong, then he hasn't got any time. Well, he might have time, but he's really put himself in such a pressuring situation.
And he invalidated already in turn 1.
Oh dear!
What is Louis doing?
No lie. I mean, I would have thought he'd have learned it by now, but I guess not. He's been doing it for months, but I guess not enough months.
How? Yeah, maybe he needs a couple weeks more, maybe months more, I don't know, but that is very worrying. One of the favourites, how the mighty have fallen, all of a sudden finds himself in P27 seconds off the pace. That's not... Like, if we had the 107% rule, he wouldn't even be allowed to start.
Yeah, so JD, I know you're in here. Let's just have a chat about this. Is Pad still OP? I think we're giving you pretty good evidence that it's not at the moment. I've also retired from League Racing. I'm on a pad, so I clearly don't like it anymore. Can we put this argument to bed?
Stop picking fights. Stop picking fights.
Just saying.
But
making a valid point.
He's gonna make Louis is gonna make it into the pit lane, at least in time. He's gonna have probably at this point one more run, and that's going to be it. Maybe if he gets out very quickly, he's gonna have 2. But my goodness, it's going to be very, very close.
Right then, let's see who's going to be first out of the pit stop for this last round. It'll be Sparks. The rest are on in laps.
Yeah, I think Tactician on an in lap. Gil, is he really on an in lap? I'm not sure. I think he's on a flyer right now. He's 0.04 of a second down on his own time, so not even green in the first sector.
Oh, you're right, actually.
Nothing that can't be rectified. Let's see, second sector split should be coming up. 0.004 of a second behind his own time, so...
Pad player, by the way. Pad player's 19th and 20th. Just saying. JD.
I win.
Unless he had a bad last sector, Gil.
Gil's through the final corner,
oh, dear.
And it is a 1 minute 3.1. Does not improve. Oh, no, he does improve, sorry. Took a while for my... it was a 1-2.9. Oh, Gil's in the wall and Gil is out.
Well, I guess he's done that on purpose then.
I'm not so sure. That didn't look like on purpose.
I didn't see it, to be fair. I'm just saying he's dead on the exit turn 1. He could have got on the curb, I guess, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, either way...
I watched it. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I don't think that was intentional. He just...
Oh, Sparks
spun.
cut the
he
corner.
Literally just spun.
Sparks has blown it already.
Oh, wow.
Very high pressure stuff. Wasn't expecting this many mistakes, I've got to say. As Onyx starts his lap, what's he going to do? Is he going to do the same thing? No. There's his teammate, slowing it right down. No allegations of towing going on there, thank goodness. Although he's now sitting right behind his teammate, I wonder how that one's going to work out. Someone keep their eye on this, as Onyx slightly down in the first sector. They've got quite a big gap to try and catch Faster Racer right now. He's really put himself in a shot window for pole position. That 10th is a lot here.
I'm going to tell you what, Tactician just left the pit lane. I think he's the last one to do so of all the guys who are trying to leave the pit lane. I think Ash Best is still in there. Oh no, Ash is now leaving. I think Ash is definitely too late. 45 seconds left. Trying to get out of the pits. That's too late. I think the same goes for Tactician. Maybe even for Casper. We'll have to see if they make it across the line in time. No, Casper moves out of the way. He has to. Blue flags right there. The two Renaults really, really close. And then at the same time...
No, he's invalidated
the AlphaTauri's slowing down, yeah. Oh my. What are they going to do now? What are the Renaults going to do? Will they be able to get across the line in time?
Right, Austin, here comes Danny, by the way.
Qualifying over for them? I mean, Casper in P5, he's probably not too worried about it, but Tactician in P10?
Danny got close.
1,000th ahead of Prinens?
Fast Racer had invalidated there, and Danny couldn't capitalise.
Danny as well.
And Thyman now,
Onyx
he's out there.
Thyman in P4 might be the one to watch here.
Louis, did he make
Louis,
it?
though.
I think he just made it. He did.
Yeah, I think he did as well, yeah. Oh, lucky son of a gun, I have to say.
Right then.
Tactician, Casper, and Ashbest did not.
Yeah, that's bad news. That's poor timing on that. I wonder if Sparks went again. He did go again. But will he improve? No. Alright, who's next then? Simon's next. Oh, well, he was next. Onyx, he's invalidated again, and he's going to be finished.
Apparently,
a lot of these guys
did make it across the line.
Okay, our timing's broken then. Our timing's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no checker
flag. I don't see a checker flag
up
behind anyone. So Casper maybe did make it across the line. Our timing is just massively wrong.
Yeah.
Either way, Table Clan remains in P14. Onyx. Hold on. No, I think it was Leah moves up to P5.
Oh, Louis off. He's done it again. He's invalidated.
No.
Jordan goes P3, but Louis starting last, folks. I can't believe it.
Yeah, Casper coming through the final corner. He's 0.04 of a second up after 2 sectors. That could be two
Big
positions, maybe 3.
Oh, God.
And he does go up to P3. Wow, what a lap. 0.02 of a second ahead of Jordan. That is about as close as it can get. Prinins is slow. Sparks is slow. Anyone else out there? Ashbest goes up to P12. And I think that is going to be Advanced Racer. Starts on pole position. Not the guy we were expecting. That would obviously be Danny, but certainly someone who has the pace, as he just showed. I mean, he had the 4th fastest time on the time trial leaderboards with a 1 minute 2.2, and he just improved on that by just over a 10th.
Should be pointed out, he did finish second to Danny in the esports event back when we did that. I think it was in May, wasn't it? Feels like ages ago. Well, it was ages ago, really.
It was ages ago, that's for sure.
And we've got a bit of a traffic jam there, but the man at the front of that traffic jam, maybe he'll do that the whole race. Vast Racer on pole then. Will Danny be able to replicate his result from the esports event? Casper, third. He was also one of the main men in the esports race. He was spun off in that. So hopefully he doesn't end up in a situation like this. What on earth is going on here? The timer has finally gone on us. It was taking a while. It took 6 or 7 cars to pile into each other for it to happen, but finally it did, and we can look forward to the race now and hope that this doesn't break. It tends to. If we have to do a lobby restart, we'll also let you know on it, but we tend to see sometimes these grid positions go a bit wrong. Like, for instance, Vast Racer could generally end up parking up after 12. It's just the way it works. But the grids that we will start with, regardless of what happens: Vast Racer Danny, Casper Jordan, Onyx Simon, Liam, Juiced, Prinnis, and Sparks will all start on the soft. Obviously, that's what they qualified on, unless it's wet. Tactician, Ash, Raycon, Blizzard, Table Clan, Fabi, Waters, Noel, and then Gil and Louis. Louis, the big shock, of course, of that one, way down.
Yeah,
I have
to say, the 3 surprises here for me, really. Probably drivers who sandbagged a little bit in time trial were the VSR boys all together. Casper, Onyx, and Thyman. Not Vaster Racer so much, but Casper was only 18th in the time trial of these of the 21 drivers who have set a lap in time trial. The only one who didn't set a valid lap was Table Clan. So including the 2 reserve drivers, but excluding Table Clan, Casper was 18th. Onyx was 17th, and Thyman was 14th. They were all in the 1 minute 2.5, 1 minute 2.6 region, and they've all improved by around 3/10.
Okay, that's good to know then. Maybe that's telling us again that it appears Grand Prix / multiplayer is quicker than TT. We've seen quite a lot of people sort of saying it's making TT a bit less relevant, I guess. And we're seeing a bit of proof of that there. But none of that really matters. We've got the race coming up now. Looks like we should all be good to start this one. 15 seconds on the timer, and then we'll see what everyone gets to start on. The sun is out on this Monday evening, which sort of sounds completely wrong now when you think about it, but it is, and it's there. And looks like the rain will be staying away. Hello to the 85 of you. Nice to see you here for the season opener of the PSGL season 26. Can you believe it? It's 26 seasons in here now. I've already been commentating for 4. It feels like I've been here not that long, but there you go. Right, and start tires. Only one person outside the top 10 is going to be starting on the sauce, and that is Raycon. Then we've got 4 in the mediums, being Fabi, Waters, Gil, and Louis, and the rest, and then being Tactician, Ashbest, Blizzard, Table Clan, and Knoll, they're on the hards. Everyone else on soft in the top 10, obviously, because that's what they qualified on.
And what that means is I'm going to have my eyes at the start on TTG Recon, because he's the one who has to make some moves here. With the 2 guys in front on the hards, he has to get past them and get past them quickly. With the top 10, just get away from the rest, really. I mean, they're an alternate strategies, but Recon is the one who has to make moves. And then it's very surprising. Usually you see the guys who are sort of in the middle, you know, P11, P12, that sort of region, P14, 15 even, on mediums, and then the ones at the very back on the hards. Here, it's the exact opposite. The only one who's breaking that trend a little bit is Noel in P18, still on the hards. But apart from that, the ones on the mediums are all in the back, and the ones on the hards are a little bit further to the front. So very, very surprising here. And oh! Recon's off! Recon's off on the formation lap. He's pulling a Max Verstappen.
Oh dear, that's going to have a lot of gravel on his tyres. He's not got long to get that off. And I don't think he will. And that will take pretty much any advantage those tyres give off the line. Man. Yeah, he's not going to have a good set of tyres now. They're not only are they going to potentially be overheated there a little bit too much when it's gone off like that, but as you can see, they're white now rather than black. They're not going to clean off fully unless the game resets them, but as we tend to see on these games, they don't. And so that's a real shame for him, but we'll see what he does at the line anyway. We'll see what they all do at the line. There's a lot of people, I reckon, going to make a lot of positions on this one, but it is Fast Racer on pole. It is Williams at the front of an F1 race. I keep seeing this in the F1 games, but there you go. And we're all lined up. Fast Racer on the right, Dan on the left, and for the first time this season, eventually, come on, the lights can't make their mind up here. They've done about 20 lights here. Are they ever going to go white? Maybe?
They are out for me for like 15
seconds. There we go, we're away. Good start.
Drive through for Noel.
Good start for Danny. He's straight into the lead. I wonder if half these guys didn't go at the same time. I'm now seeing that drive-through that you'd pointed out, and Fast Racer has gone way off the track, and that's going to promote Jordan up to P2. We've got Fast Racer now in P3. He's now going to be looking at behind him. I imagine Casper had a good run there. He did lose a position. Jordan seems to have had a decent start, but it's hard to tell really with these guys. They appear to have went at different times. There's a few cars picking up some damage there at turn 3, but for the most part, I think we've all got through at least alive, but it didn't seem very fair for some of them.
Yeah, there was certainly contact. Recon had a massive start, I have to say. Absolutely lightning start. They're already up to P9 now, gaining 4 positions, now back to P10, but still 3 positions up. Got rid of both of the hard runners who started in front of him there, and that's exactly what he needed. Really absolutely fantastic start from him. And now we're probably going to see the top 11 all pulling away. We have Onyx going into the pit lane, I think.
Yeah, front wing damage.
Front wing damage. Right
He's
side.
had contact with Liam, I believe, at turn 3. And that's going to be his race effectively ruined. Unless something good happens with safety cars later on, because I don't think cars can get to the end from here. I don't think he'll even go near them, honestly. But we'll wait and see. Let's see what he does. They should really just put another set of reds or something on it. No,
they're
hards.
putting on the hards.
I'm completely wrong as usual.
I would have put the mediums on, to be honest, and then you still get the option of do you go for the softs or do you go for another set of mediums, and at least you got that choice then to make. But right now in the hards, yeah, you're going to go back onto the softs for the end, but the hards obviously slow here.
Right, and so thanks to that contact, I guess Liam did lose some time. He hasn't got any damage, but you can see he's nearly 2 seconds off the top 4. That quartet should be pretty clear now for the rest of this stint at least. I think it's quite difficult to catch up, especially when DRS gets involved. We know what this track is like. If you're not on DRS, good luck catching up or keeping anyone behind. So we'll see how Liam gets on. We'll see how Danny gets on. We know how quick he is, but will he be able to resist the pressure from the 3 drivers behind? Jordan, like I said, had a fantastic start, and can he build on it now? Danny, fastest lap of the race, and now Liam, well, saying that, he has got a fast lap of himself. We'll see if he can get into DRS before he starts getting swamped. It is now enabled. 3 zones. First one you'll see up towards turn 3, because obviously the detection point for the first one down to turn 1 is too late on to be detected on lap 2, but we'll certainly get that one at the start of lap 4. And Jordan already closing in. You can see ERS usage there. You'll be keeping an eye on that pretty much the whole race. You can actually Fast Racer use half his tank, and that's why he didn't use any on that back straight. It'll be important to see how well they can manage that. because that could be what decides this race, Austin.
It could very well be.
Look at that, we got side by side there. Sorry to interrupt there. I was just handing it over to you. But we got Feynman and Prenez side by side, making nearly collide there. But I think Prenez is going to try on the outside, and that's the grass. And he'll have to back this one off before he gets to turn 9.
Yeah, I think that was a warning as well for corner cutting there for Prenez, because he did leave the track with all 4 wheels. Of the game really does not like that, even at that spot.
Oh, if you do Liam! Oh my goodness. That was sideways and nearly crashing multiple times. And he's low on ERS as well. He is... Yeah.
He's a sitting duck now.
He could be. He could well be there. We'll keep an eye on that though. But yes, I'll let you talk, Mac. You've been interrupting me.
No, it's pretty difficult to do if you don't ask me a question. I'm here to provide some insight. And
yeah. Right. Well, here's a move on Feynman.
He doesn't try it, which I think might be the smart call, because you gotta check. Thyman right now is low on ERS as well. I think what he wants to do is make sure Liam is very low, has to defend all the time, and use his overtake button just to stay ahead. And at the same time, Thyman, he just regains. He just sits behind, gets the slipstream, gets the DRS, and regains more and more battery charge until he's at like 50-60% maybe, and then he starts sending it. I know he's actually using some, but I think just to stay close.
So when are we expecting moves? Because I know we always tend to see these things sort of happen at the end of races, but when we're so early on, and we're seeing that already Jordan has got some more ERS than Danny to play with, will he be thinking towards the end of the stint? Will he maybe save it to go for an undercut or an overcut? You just never really know what they'll do with this. Will he be able to keep Fast Racer behind? Because he's already, like I said, used a lot more than Jordan. It does feel like Jordan's in the strongest position for me right now to win this thing. But yeah, it could just come down to how they handle the pit stops, because it would be a bit irresponsible to go racing this close, this early.
Yeah, right now for all 4 drivers, they are experienced enough. They are, they have the racecraft, they have the awareness to see what is going on in terms of gap, whether it's Danny, Jordan, Fast Racer, or Casper. They see that behind Casper there's a massive gap of over 2 seconds. And so they're thinking right now, look, if us 4 can just pull away into the distance, we can just let everyone else behind, we can leave them behind and not have to worry about them, then we're going to make up this victory between us 4. One of us 4 is going to win, and you'd rather have a 1 in 4 chance than, if you look at the second group there, from Liam all the way down to probably Blizzard at this point, who's still in DRS range. That's a 1 in 11 chance. You'd rather take 25% than 9%, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I sort of agree with that. I do think it is sort of just don't blow it too early on. Just don't blow it too on. If you have to go for it, you have to go for it. But right now, you definitely don't have to go for it in the slightest. So we'll keep you entertained until that point of rise when he starts fighting for it. It does feel like Feynman is in a position where he's harrying Liam to the point where he has to push, and he has got a little bit more ERS Feynman than Liam. But starting to see this second group is a lot more inconsistent when the ERS. There's 2 in there, 2 in there, which is Prenez and Sparks, who could be important later on when their ERS is much higher than the rest. Although saying that, Prenez is struggling to hold on to the back actually of Feynman. He might find himself using it right now, but he's got that there to use. That's sort of what it's there for. But Feynman certainly looks like the most likely person to make an overtake at some point. You can see from the rear view of Liam, there he goes, taking advantage of the lack of threat from behind him, really. You can see that Liam now will see that gap, but that was a safe overtake to make, and that's why Feynman's done it.
Yeah, and at this point maybe Feynman can unleash some speed here, and I doubt that he's going to get closer to the front group, but maybe at least keep the gap at around 3.5 seconds where it is right now. I think that's probably the best thing to do, and then maybe you can give yourself a chance by going with a massive undercut. We're talking 2-3 laps on everyone else, especially the front 4, so I think the earliest you can pit at all is probably around lap 9 if you really want to push it, maybe lap 10. Lap 10 is when the pit window for the hard tyres opens, so for those that are on the softs to go on to hards. As we have a Yellow Fang Sector 3, that is Fabi in the gravel. That's way off. That's going on an excursion and a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Certainly that's harsh.
It is a bit harsh, that one, isn't it? I wonder how he's got there. If it's been a side-by-side fight, it's gone a bit wrong, whether he's just lost it himself. Tyres are already starting to lose a bit of their grip at this point. But I know he was in that fight at the back. It was quite close, and it's now got a bit more spread out after that incident. But yeah, unfortunate to see that happen. I'm sure Sturridge will remove the penalty if he's still in the race at the end, because it wasn't a very fair one. One thing we've got to put in on the tyres here, and it's something that I think everyone's really noticed at this point, as Prentice now tries to get by, and that's into the wall, only side wall, but then he's spun again. When he comes back on, he's ghosted, luckily. And there should be actually no damage done there for Prentice, or for Lee, and they did have a weak collision. But that'll wreck his tyres a bit more, and what I was going to say, he's going to spin again.
Oh, he's spinning again, yep.
That's going to be calm. No, he's avoided again. Good avoidance there. But look at Tibaclan trying to take advantage right around the outside of Tactician there. Nearly trying to get by Ash Best, but not quite. Right, stop crashing for a second. What I was saying about the tyres is that they can puncture at around 70% now. That's a lot earlier than it used to be, and I've seen a lot of instances, and I've had it myself, where a tyre can just fine. They might still have grip, they might be fine, but if they're in the 70% to 80% range, as we see another yellow for Raycon, they can blow, and they will blow. And that's actually potentially a bad spot for an undercut, because say you're in this fight, and you're wanting to do the soft to medium strategy. Well, you can't go too long on the softs, because if you push them too hard, mess them about too much, you'll get a puncture. But you can't undercut them to go into mediums, because then you'll blow those up. So you have to actually do the strategy a bit more properly. You can't do 2 to 3 lap undercuts anymore, unless you're going to go into the hards. That's sort of out of the window now, for some people. So tyre preservation is a lot more important, and that could put quite a bearing on this fight as well.
That is very much true. However, at the same time, the hards aren't actually too bad.
Well, yeah.
Compared to the mediums, at least. Obviously, compared to the softs, the hards are quite bad, but the mediums are also quite bad compared to the softs. Because the time difference between the tyres, at least according to the game, I'm going to say this right now, it's not always 100% accurate, but neither are the times that you get from Crofty when he says, oh yeah, the tire is 5/10 slower and 8/10 slower. It's not always perfectly accurate, but it's a good, it's a good anchor. 8/10 between the softs and the mediums, and 1.2 seconds between the softs and the hards. So only 4/10 between the mediums and the hards. So it's very, very interchangeable, as Recon has left the session, and under PSGL rules, doesn't that mean that he's out now, basically?
Yeah, you can't rejoin because of the game. It can mess about with quite a lot of things, especially with this one. So yeah, that's him out now. I've seen a slow Williams of Prines. I don't really know what's happened to him there. He was on a straight one. He started to slow down, but he's now down to 19th. Obviously, he had the spins. His tyres could already be starting to suffer. But yeah, he's having a dreadful time now as we see our first pit stop.
Juiced. Yeah, juiced in the pit lane and
that wasn't even close to slowing that one down.
He wasn't going to make that, no. He wasn't going to make that.
Has now retired. He's spinned it by the looks of it in turn 7. That's a safety car. That's helping Juiced out. He might be regretting that penalty. Is he having to wait for the safety car? No, he's not. No. I was wondering if he'll be stuck behind it, but that pit stop means he's gained a few seconds there. But the 5-second penalty, he'll be kicking himself now. He wasn't even close to getting slowed down, but that is our first safety car of the season, and that, well, it sadly potentially takes off all of the tyre chat I've just said about punctures. Yep. But it could be only a 3-lap safety car, and these guys get all pit for mediums now, and it could be a feature at the end. I'd expect most pit stops now will be for mediums, unless you're obviously on mediums, in which case you'll be going to hards. But I reckon you won't see any more softs now. That's like goodbye softs, I'd imagine, unless there's some double stacking which we need to go on. Which, by the looks of it, actually there wouldn't be. Thank goodness. I think that's working out quite well for these guys, actually.
The Red Bulls might have to double stack. Liam and Blizzard very close to P6 and P8 there.
Well, hold
on.
I
think that's what they're trying right now, because Blizzard is keeping a little bit of a... Oh no, Blizzard's staying out.
He's on new hards now. He's going to lead the race.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he is. Not on new hards. Not on new hards. It's a glitch. Something you will hear as said very, very often.
Has he pitted then, or not? No, he hasn't pitted.
No.
For goodness
he
sake.
hasn't pitted.
Sorry, you can all see what I mean. Half the grid's on new tyres on my screen. Sorry about this. Right, we have to sit on this then. So Blizzard...
Everyone's in the pits except Blizzard and Recon. Everyone else has already made their stop. or they are doing it right now.
Right,
Only Recon, who is not allowed to rejoin, and Blizzard. So Blizzard, the only one who still has to make his pit stop. He's maybe hoping for another safety car, trying to go very deep into this race. You got to remember that the lifespan for these hard tires is around 26 laps. 25 laps when they start going into puncture territory, but you know, if you do a little bit of tire management there, and especially with the safety car, you can actually go even longer if you want to. So maybe that's what Blizzard is going for here, hoping for a second safety car and trying to go very, very deep and then onto the softs or the mediums if the safety car comes a bit earlier. But right now, he didn't like the situation right now, and he stayed out.
Right, well, let me just quickly explain exactly what the situation is. Blizzard and Recon are the only ones that didn't pit. Recon's obviously out now because he DC'd, so it's only Blizzard you're going to be looking for a pit stop. Ignore the fact that he's got new tyres, he doesn't. That's the glitch there for us. In fact, it might well say that for a few others, but just know that everyone has made their stops now, except for Blizzard and Recon. That's all you need to know, and Recon's out, so really only look at Blizzard. The rest should be to the end, really. And that means we've got 5 people on the mediums. Will this be a risk worth taking for them? Because the rest were pretty confident with the hards.
Well, it's going to be a tricky one because the lifespan for the mediums is 21 laps. And if you do some math and you see 36 minus 13, that's good, 23. That's a bit too much. So they're going to have to do some massive tyre saving. We're talking Lewis Hamilton, British Grand Prix, and it was barely enough because obviously he did come across the line with 3 wheels, but he did win. So maybe that's what we're going to see here with the medium runners, with Ash Best, Tableclan, Tactician, Noel, and Onyx.
Yeah, I do wonder if this is bad, because I do feel a lot of people underestimate how little these tyres give when they get to the critical point. Like I say, on previous F1 games, you can run for 3 or 4 laps with being on the critical move, but basically what happens is that, for those who don't know, we'll quickly explain this, the tyres, when it hits 60%, you get a yellow warning light, and then that progresses up to a red warning light, which I think you get at about 70 or 75. And as soon as it hits the red, the tyre's literally going to go that or the next lap. I haven't seen it go much longer than a lap or 2. Which around here, maybe you could stretch it to 3. But it really, when you see that red light, you're in trouble. And so that's what you have to be looking for these medium runners at the end. So they've got to make their positions early.
Safety car restart, meanwhile, inbound Blizzard is now controlling the field. Danny right behind him. When is Blizzard going to go?
He should really be looking at... Well, he can't really go now, can he? Well, that's maybe what they'll all think, but it's a difficult one, this. There's only sort of really one place you can go, and that's pretty much here. And he has. And he's done about as well as he could have done. In fact, I think it was Jordan who had the best start there. His Tableclan's had a collision with Louis there, and he's got a penalty for it. But Blizzard has held the lead into turn 1, and Recon is going to fall through the grid. Ignore him, though, because he's not actually here. But yeah, apart from Tableclan, let's just see, has he got any damage? Because he's obviously the lead runner on the mediums, and he has indeed got a smashed up front left there.
Oh, he does, wow. And Louis got a 5-second penalty as well for a collision with Gil just before that.
Oh,
so
right.
that was so Gil must have slowed down to some extent, and that
Gil
probably I haven't seen that, unfortunately, but it seems like that's what caused Louis to run into Gil and then Tableclan to run into Louis. Sort of a domino effect there as Louis now tries to make it past Wouters. They're side by side here through turns 7 and 8, and I think Louis has the position. Indeed he does. Great overtake there, and Louis now up 1 position. He doesn't seem to have any damage from that as Blizzard gets a penalty, and yeah, no damage there for Louis, only for Tableclan, who is now going into the pit lane.
That was a good use of ERS there for Louis there, because you can see he just used a wee spurt of that towards turn 7 to get that move done, and Ash Best nearly had a spin there on the exit of turn 1. Luckily he got away with it, but he is the lead driver on medium, so he's got to make sure he does pretty much everything he needs to do to keep these tyres safe but make moves at the same time. Meanwhile at the front, we've still got Blizzard leading. He he has got a pit light on. I would be very much doubtful he'd be pitting. I guess he's going to end up going to another 10 laps or something and then pit for softs.
Yeah. Most drivers have a pit light on right now. Blizzard does, Jordan does, Casper does, Simon. So don't really pay too much attention to that. Unfortunately, I mean, just another glitch, really.
Yeah.
As I said, you're going to hear us say the word glitch very often, unfortunately. But a fix is coming for a lot of these. Unfortunately, not every single glitch that we encounter, but for
none of the important ones are being fixed. I can tell you that. I read the patch notes. They're not fixing any of the important things. Things that we pointed out in the beta, Cody's. So, it's funny. The amount of glitches that I've been finding since then as well is unbelievable. But we're working with it. Luckily, with the tire glitching situation, I believe it's all good apart from Blizzard.
Oh, Jordan!
Oh.
Jordan was really close to Danny's back there. Almost ran into the back of him, and then instantly got under pressure from Vasa Racer when he was trying to avoid Danny and had to go the long way. As Danny is trying to get the move done on Blizzard. It's just not there. Blizzard is defending it well. And Danny doesn't find a way through right now. Blizzard on these old hard tires, holding up Danny and Jordan and Ross Race and the whole group there, trying to get past him, but they just don't find a way.
I mean, Blizzard's tires aren't exactly bad. We've got to remember that on these hards, it's just still have a few good laps in them, and I guess he's got nothing to lose by sitting at the front. I think he'd rather be in the clean air than falling through, because I guess he knows he's going to be in bad spot when he pits anyway, but he needs to make it as not bad as possible. And I guess the best way of doing that is making the guys behind him fight a little bit. So if he can stay in lead for as long as possible, then that'd be good for him, because I reckon still that Jordan is probably in a better position than Danny at the minute to win this thing. I don't know about you, but I've got my money on the Mercedes driver at the minute.
Yeah, he's certainly in the best position of all the drivers here.
Danny's got a good run now.
It needs to be said, for Blizzard, the tyres are probably about 40 to 45% right now at the worst tyre. Danny round the outside gets it done. Blizzard with a slight drift there, a little bit of a slide going on, but that cost him ultimately. But Danny cleared, I don't want to say the traffic, because obviously Blizzard isn't exactly traffic, but he's on a different strategy, still has to pit while all of these other drivers don't, and so Danny cleared that, got him out of the way. Maybe if Danny can pull a gap now, this might be what Danny needs to get away and make sure that he wins and Jordan does not have a chance.
Alright, well, let's see the exit that Jordan has, because this is effectively going to be a one and done.
Oh, Ash has left the session. That's another disconnect, and therefore another DNF at this point. Ash
that's
just
close to contact there, but I think Jordan's got it done in one. So now he can chase back after Danny again, but look at the ERS they've both had to use to get that done. They're both running quite low. They would have all been able to save it, obviously, during the safety car. I wouldn't have had to go near the overtake button, and they've already used quite a lot. Most of them have as well. Anyone who's sort of started to sleep a bit more are nowhere near the front, so they wouldn't gain too much out of it. So they've had to use that sort of to keep up with each other right now. DRS, I guess, would help to save it a bit now. But yeah, that's interesting to see that. And Blizzard himself has used a lot too. It does feel now that he's going to start falling down, because he's running that right close to the 10%. And once it goes under 10%, isn't it 10%? It just sort of falls apart. He's now getting penalties. You can tell he's pushing anyway, can't you? But it's not really working.
Yeah, at this point, tires are probably nearing 50%, and that's sort of the first slight drop off, and that's exactly what you see right here. That now the tires are just losing their grip, and yeah, he's starting to fall off a little bit and struggling to keep up with the top two. The one who's maybe hurt the most by this might be Vasta Racer, because he's still behind Blizzard and not exactly close to an overtake. We're talking 0.6 of a second. If you go on board with Vasta Racer, you see just how far away he is still. Maybe he's struggling more with the dirty air than the other two were. Ultimately, I don't know, but it looks very... Oh, is he... Oh, no, Table Climber gets a penalty. Vasta Racer did run wide, but Table Climber gets a penalty. The pop-up really perfectly timed.
It was.
But it wasn't indeed Table Climber who got that penalty, not Vasta Racer, but he did run a little bit wide there. Probably got a warning for that anyway. But still, you see, Blizzard gets the DRS. Boss Racer, not much you can do about it, so he just has to sit behind, he's too far away. And yeah, at this point it's just about being patient.
He just seems to be unsettled right now. Every time he starts to push it a bit more to try and catch Blizzard, he seems to lose the car a bit. It is seemingly a dirty air thing, isn't it, for him? He's just, you can see it there, like he just...
Maybe now.
He doesn't have enough grip right now.
Yeah. You saw there in turn 3, Blizzard was sliding on the exit, a little bit of a power slide there, spinning the wheels, and that's what maybe I thought could give Voss Racer an opportunity. Ultimately, it didn't. But Voss Racer is a lot closer now.
Yeah, Blizzard's
He's a lot
falling
closer
back now.
Yeah, Blizzard, he's still within that 1 second, but he's falling off more and more. At the same time, that's exactly what Voss Racer really doesn't want, Blizzard falling off, because then, I mean, good luck trying to close that gap to Danny MG and BDG Jordan. I mean, we've seen their pace early on in the race. We know their pace, and I'd be surprised if Voss Racer can somehow catch up to them once Blizzard does go into the pits, or Voss Racer clears him.
Well, see, Voss Racer, he was getting close, but then into the final corner. I rode on board for about a lap and a half there. Really interesting, because he's going the final corner, and they might have understeer he's got. He just, it's not oversteer, it's understeer. It's just not working for him at the minute. And it's fascinating to watch. I can watch the whole race from his point of view, but that wouldn't be very exciting for the audience, I don't think. So we'll go watch the leaders, sure. Let's see what Jordan's up to, if he can try and catch Danny anytime soon. And like I say, he's in DRS. He gets a chance to save his ERS a bit, and you can see he's been doing that. He's got a little bit more now than Danny. That'll be good news for him. Of course, he's thinking about lap 36, you'd hope, not lap 22 for a move. I mean, again, viewers won't be liking that, but racecraft and all that, he's got to be prepared. Blizzard's just about staying in DRS, but this time Voss Racer is able to stick with him a bit closer. I don't know if Blizzard will get the next DRS turn. Depends how late he breaks into here, and if Jordan goes for a move as well. He broke late enough, Jordan.
He did get it,
but Blizzard broke much later.
Blizzard did get it, yeah, just about, and gained about a tenth of a second in the corner on Jordan. Might be because Jordan got held up a little bit by Danny there, but either way, Jordan is really close there to the diffuser of Danny. Wow, my goodness, he's really pushing it and almost literally pushing Danny.
Can I just say, the entire top 15 are still in DRS of each other, as Voss Racer does get that penalty at turn 6 now this time. We don't have to pretend he did get it this time. Or at least they were in DRS. I feel Tactician might have just put himself outside it. Don't ruin this on me. No, he's still in. Good man, he's still in. So that's, we were saying how close this is going to be. Blizzard's just fallen outside of it. Well, he's back in it. Why did I have to bring these things up? He's not done it. Okay.
Oh, Voss Racer didn't get Blizzard didn't get it this time.
Yeah, that's what
this
I'm
might
saying.
be the one here. Voss Racer's all over him, and that should be an easy overtake, and indeed it is. Voss Racer finally pulling off the move on Blizzard, and now the gap is 1.2 seconds, and Blizzard will now get the DRS on Voss Racer. But look at that, the grip is not there. This is what I was talking about earlier. Now we're in about the 50, maybe even 55% range for Blizzard. Maybe Blizzard runs into the back of Voss Racer.
There goes Casper too.
Yeah,
I wonder who was defending there. He was defending Casper because he was a 10th behind, and he just broke a bit too late there. That could have been much worse. But yeah, Blizzard now down to 5th. It's too early for him still to pit by maybe a couple of laps, but he might fancy pushing it forward a bit. We'll see.
He could do it now if he wanted to. I think.
He does,
and he does.
Yeah.
Yep. I
think he's all right with that. It's mainly the entry itself.
Clear.
Yeah, he made it.
He made his intention clear, and that's the important thing. He showed what he was trying to do there.
And what's hard?
That's what the rule is about. You should make your intention clear that you want to pit, and he did that. Pulled off to the right side to show that, and I think he should be all right. Did cross a little bit back into the track, but it should be fine.
Right, so
anyway, onto the softs he goes. 13 laps left for him. The softs can go up to 16, but obviously they do run into sort of puncture territory at around 15. So
yeah.
You want to... 13 is fine. Especially at the end of the race when the fuel in the car is rather low, so you have a little bit less strain on the tyres. 13 laps should be absolutely fine.
Yes, it's just going to explain to the viewers there. I don't know if you've got the same glitch, but Blizzard is not on 23 lap old softs.
I have the same glitch.
He was on 23 lap old hards. It didn't count them, but now it's counted them as he's went onto the new tyres. What's happened there? Can't say though that I can explain what's happened to Fabi, but they're not on that age of tyre.
He's only done 23 laps, but his tyres are 31 laps old.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a glitch once again, and let's just not worry about it. What is correct is which tyre they're on.
Yeah, let's see that bit right.
100% right.
So well done, Codemasters. You deserve a medal. But looks like Fast Racer's not really keeping up now. He cannot get himself back into DRS of Jordan. And that's because Jordan gets used it 3 times. Fast Racer could well be quicker than Jordan everywhere else, but he's just not there for DRS. And as Kimi Räikkönen said, half the track, it is DRS. You have to be in it to win it, and he's not in it.
Yeah. The important thing here, basically, at this point, this has become a race between Danny MG and Vasta Racer. Vasta Racer isn't racing against Jordan right now, he's racing against Danny. He has to be faster than Danny. And I think he might just be... Jordan gets the slipstream, though, and that pulls away the 1 second window under Vasta Racer's feet. Vasta Racer's pushing it so much. Maybe at the end of this straight here, this could be the one. He's still within 8 tenths, 9 tenths.
This has gone bad.
He does have it. He has it.
Look at his DRS.
Wow.
He's blown it all. That's why.
Doesn't matter. He does have the DRS now. At this point, he picks up some slipstream. You know, he does. You know, and you regain a lot because you have heavy braking zones into turn 1, into turn 3, into turn 4. You have heavy braking zones where you regain a lot of ERS. So that's certainly something to look out for. But Vasta Racer is back in this one. He is not giving up just yet. With 10.5 laps to go, I think at this point the top 4, because Steinman is falling away again from Casper, the top 4 are back to where they were before the safety car.
The problem Vasta Racer's got here is 1, he nearly crashed, and 2, he's got next to no overtake, which is more powerful than DRS. We have to point this out. I would say it's effectively more powerful, because you can be in DRS all you want. Jordan could just go overtake now, say, oh, you want to pass me? Well, good for you. I've got 70% more. Well, not 70%, it was about 70%. It's like 50% more ERS. You can do all the late braking you want, but I can pull away on the straights. Oh, what this could do though, if Fast Racer does start putting the pressure on, it could force a move for the lead. And, well, Fast Racer, he wants that because he needs them to not only go for a move, but to collide probably as well, because he's got a 3-second penalty. So he needs them to start squabbling so he can get involved, get ahead and get clear. And he might have a move here, Jordan. Is he going to get close, or is he just going to do what he's done every time and just stay there? Close, but not too close.
Yeah, the idea for Jordan here is to force Danny to use some overtake mode to defend, and meanwhile save what you have. That's what Jordan is doing. Every yellow flame sector 2, that's a car off. That is Juiced. Juiced is in the gravel.
Vasta Racer's got another penalty. 6 seconds now. That's him out.
Juiced has rejoined. I mean, he's not out.
Not winning.
He's out of the potential. Yeah, he's potentially out of contention for the win here, unless something miraculous happens. We're gonna go over the penalties around. I would say lap 33, 34, maybe.
Yeah, this is starting to heat up a bit. So
I'm gonna check where they say you can say on the fights and everything. I'm just gonna check once we get to lap 34, 35. And tell you who's got how many penalties.
Jordan's exceeding track limits on the way in to the hairpin. That's an interesting one. I don't know if he was doing that all race, but I would have thought that would be getting you warnings, honestly. But he's doing it again on the way in. He's got to be careful of that. Doesn't want to blow that with such a silly sort of error, if you can call it an error. If he's getting away with it, he's getting away with it. It's not an error then. But yeah, just be wary of that. Fast Racer now, pretty much, surely any opportunity he gets, he's going to go for. Because right now, he's going to be dropping outside the points. I don't know what everyone's penalties are like, but if no one else behind him's got a penalty, he's going to be outside the points. And Jordan now has got a penalty. So he's now also going to get a move on Danny. Danny, it's all falling into place.
Yeah, it's really all coming together here in the end, and Danny doesn't even have to win on track. However, Danny's only on 1 warning, so he can even afford a second one. Jordan is now on 1 penalty with no additional warnings. Last racer did get his second penalty, so he's on 6 seconds now. Casper has an absolutely clean slate, not even a warning.
The view from behind the race leader, he's not scared. I don't think he'll be. If he's got the stream on, he'll be sort of happier now with the way the penalties are. If he gets into trouble, if he knows Jordan's got a penalty, he knows Vasquez has got a penalty, he only has to actually beat Casper. And Casper's at the back of this, so as long as if it goes wrong, it can go wrong, but it's not too wrong. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Danny has someone in either his PlayStation party or he's hanging out with someone in Discord who tells him probably what's going on. I would be surprised if he doesn't. So he probably knows at this point that Jordan. He certainly knows that Jordan has penalty. He definitely knows that because he can ask Jeff about that.
Yeah.
But he probably also knows the Vast Racer has 2 penalties now, and not sure if he knows about Casper being the first one without. But either way, it doesn't bother him too much because Casper's barely holding on to this whole group here.
Right then. Danny then. He's only going to have 6 laps now at the end of this one to hold on to this. It does feel like this first round of the season is going his way. And Jordan Vastracer must go for a move eventually though, but saying that, Jordan's sort of fallen back a bit. He's now more under pressure from Vastracer than he would be attacking Danny. And he's sort of got less ERS as well. Doesn't seem very likely. He might just have to kamikaze it into turn 3. In a way, Danny might not really be expecting that this early on, but if he does it on this lap, maybe it would be surprising enough to get away with. But he's got to plan this out and do the move at the right time because he's got to get ahead and then clear by 3 seconds. He's got to pass soon.
Yeah, I reckon if he does it after lap 33, there's not going to be much of a point in it. Maybe he's going to try it now. Let's see. No, he doesn't use his overtake button at all. He's just trying to regain some energy at this point. He's focusing. I think maybe he's focusing more on. Maybe he's hoping that Danny gets a penalty, but that hope I think is misplaced. Danny's still on 1 warning. Didn't even get a second one, so he can still afford 1 more. And yeah, Jordan, maybe he just wants to get P2 or at this point it would be P3 obviously because Casper would jump ahead. I mean, yeah, it's still a podium for Jordan, so there's that. But yeah, otherwise it's going to be really, really tricky.
Right then, Louis now got a penalty, so it's not like Vastracer is going to drop out of the points, I don't think, but he will be quite low in the points, I'd imagine, unless they've literally all got penalties, but it's not really relevant right now, I guess. It just means he's not going to win the race unless something catastrophic happens to most of the top 10. Jordan closing, no overtake though, so no move. I mean, if he was using it, he would have a real chance at it. I think he knows that. He's using it now for a little bit, but then going back off it, so maybe he's happy to sit there, I don't know, but he needs to know at least Casper's in prime position to take that off him. I don't really, maybe he doesn't know about that penalty situation, but it seems a bit silly to not cover yourself, really. He's got the pace.
Yeah, I just looked at the penalty situation right now. Sparks has 1 penalty, 3 seconds. Simon is not fully clean, but 2 warnings. Liam, 2 warnings. Gil, 1 penalty. No, sorry, 2 penalties, my apologies, so 6 seconds. Wouters, 1 penalty, 3 seconds. And Louis, okay, I'm going to have to count these. It's a lot. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 20 seconds.
Right, so he's finishing last then. Well, not last, but not getting any points. That's really just a miserable start to his season. Yes, I'm seeing Rapid in the chat questioning why he would even bother going for the move. He'd lose time fighting. Not really. If he's in a position to use his overtake button to say that, look, he's using it now to keep up. He's actually losing time now, just in general. He should have if he's in clean air, he can maybe push Danny back, and that could hold up Casper. He's got to make a 3-second gap somehow. He's got to try something, because at the minute he's not getting a podium position. No, he is. Sorry, he's getting third, isn't he? But he wants to be second.
John, yeah.
He wants to be second, no? He's got to
Yeah,
try.
but for that to happen, you would have to sort of distance Vasta Racer, who then, together with Casper, falls out of the DRS. And right now, I just don't see that happening.
Obviously, Danny gets a penalty now as well, and Casper's in the box seat to win it, so he's doing all he has to do right now, Casper. He's sitting very pretty, regardless of what happens. I don't know if Danny's got another warning yet. You can, I guess, check that. But...
probably not.
Probably not, but, you know, always worth checking. You never know, he might have nicked turn one a bit.
Yeah, he didn't.
Oh, well. That's why he's a pressure move out of him, Jordan. Maybe he starts pressurising him into some mistakes. But yeah, he's just not going to stay there. I think he's just going to just sort of stay there the whole race. Onyx is just pitted. I wonder if that's a puncture has done that. A little bit weird to pit at this point on those mediums. And Tactician looks fine on them. He's the only one still standing on them, but didn't really make any time. So the medium runners didn't really gain much out of their venture in the end. Fastest lap at the moment, by the way, is for Noel. So I don't think anyone's going to get that point for fastest lap either.
Yeah, most likely not. Maybe Blizzard could if he makes another move. But apart from that, it's probably not going to happen.
Louis got another penalty. Lovely.
Oh yeah, Louis will fall out of the... Obviously, yeah. So maybe if Blizzard gets the fast lap, he's only 0.03 of a second below that, but I think the softs have seen their best days anyway.
Well, they're 44 laps up.
It's not really going to happen, and that means that probably Noel's going to keep that one. As we're in the penultimate lap now, and Juice gets the 3-second time penalty, he's down to P15, so that's all going to be pretty much non-consequential. But yeah, 44 laps for Blizzard on the softs in a 36-lap race. What a legend! What a legend!
Incredible stuff. Remember, by the way, people, we're going to try and talk to the top three after the race. I don't know how many of them actually want to talk, but we'll try, because we did interviews last season. It's not like we've got anything better to be doing, else you wouldn't be here. So we'll try and talk to these top three after the race. Casper will be in there, so we'll... Sorry, Fast Race, you won't get a word in at this rate. As we start the final lap, Danny has led it from the start, fell back a little bit thanks to Blizzard not putting under the safety car, but in reality he really has been the man all day, apart from qualifying. And is looking on course to take the first win of the season. Not going to be maximum points because he's not going to get that fastest lap point, but 25 points, he'll take that, won't he?
Yeah, well, it's not 25 points, it's 16 points.
Oh yeah, I didn't remember that. Sorry, well, there you go.
We have a different point system, so for those of you who don't know, 16, 12, 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is our point system here. And certainly 16 points, a good start to the season, and no one else is getting the fastest lap either. So who does isn't in the top 10. So that extra point doesn't go anywhere either. So it's a 4-point gap for Danny when he comes across the line in about 2 corners.
Right then, so to claim 16 points, not 25. Danny round the final corner. Not as dramatic a finish as last season. He won't mind that though, as he takes the checkered flag to win. Should be Casper second, and then Jordan third. Vast Racer will be fourth. Sparks, well, he was going to take it, but Feynman took it in the end. Liam,
look at
then
Louis,
Sparks.
37.9. He's going to drop way below.
Fast Racer 7, Walters 8, Gil 9th, and Tactician will take the last point on his medium, so I guess that did work for him in the end. Blizzard, Noel, Onyx, and then Louis and the others. So the actual, sorry, we'll just go through that. The point system is 16, 12, 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's
I just said it, Owen.
I know, just going through the drivers and what they've scored. So, driver of the day, Fabi, 50. Oh, he spinned it. Well, he was doing. Well, can you blame him? He's punctured on his 55 lap old tyres. I was about to say I was impressive, and it wasn't because he's blown them. Well, he won't finish last. Well, he will actually because the other two aren't here, so he will finish last. Has he? How many has he punctured? Has he punctured 2 or just 1? He's just punctured the 1.
Can't see it. Hold on.
So I don't know how I don't know how old they actually were.
No, it's just 1. It's just 1. It's just 1. The fronts are fine, it's just the right rear.
Well, that's not gone well. And he'll crawl to the line now to claim 17th. His teammate got on the points, so Ferrari do have some points on the board. But yes, that has been the first round of the season in Austria. And like I say, we'll try and get the top three into a party to have a wee chit chat. Not that there's much to talk about, is it really? I mean, it was a race, but it wasn't at the same time. They just sort of all sat there because of DRS City again. But it is the dancing man, Danny, top step of the podium.
He's got the moves as well.
He's got the moves, but he hasn't got a selfie stick. That's the one I use.
Yeah.
But yes, well, it's not a selfie stick. It's just a selfie. That's if your driver has a head, of course. Sometimes we don't get that. I wonder how many will have that this season. You either have no body or no head, or no trophy or no head, or no head. So yeah, luckily they've all kept their bodies this time. So clearly wasn't that much of a taxing race. But again, the provisional order: Danny from Casper, Jordan Feynman, Liam Sparks, Fast Racer Waters, Gill and Tactician in the points. Fast as that went to Noel, so that means he doesn't get a point for that, I don't believe. Outside top 10 is Blizzard, Noel, Onyx, Louis, Juiced, Table Clan, and then Fabian, and the people who didn't finish or DC'd. Ash Best, Recon, they both DC'd, and Prince was the only retirement. He'd been to a turn 6, I believe it was. So that is the finishing order. I know I'm a streamer, but I don't think the party's open, so I'm going to have to actually do the invites for the party. So, yes. Please join, people. Don't make this a difficult task for us today. All I want to do is have a little chat. I like chatting to people. Well, actually, I don't really, but the drivers, you might have questions for them as well. But it's my idea, actually, to be fair. So really, I shouldn't join this, but I can never think of what to ask them sometimes. But I'm sure I'll think of something. I hope. It's just, I tell them I'm going to ask questions, so I'm going to ask questions. 2 Dutchies and a Spaniard. We love the Dutchies. There's a lot of Dutchies in this tier. I'm getting ILR2 flashbacks. If anyone remembers that lovely time when it was just Dutchies everywhere. It was like half the grid was Dutchies. I think it's about the same here, to be honest. There's a lot of good Dutchies. But he's not on the... Well, he is on the podium. I'm an idiot. Sorry. I nearly invited Feynman. Next week, Feynman. Next week. Right, well, the invite's coming. I just had to search all your names because I don't think I'm friends with any of them. Which is awkward, I'll admit. Well, no, I've got 2 out of 3 in. So we'll just have the last one there. Okay. Invites have been sent.
Hey.
Should probably ask them to make sure the mic's on share. You'd think that would be common knowledge at this point to have it on share, but my first ever commentary in league racing for UPL, I didn't have it on share. No one told me, and all you could hear was the echoes of my screams from Cam's mic. So that wasn't the best thing, but I'll just tell them, make sure the mic's on share.
Oh, we have one.
Yay. I hasn't told me which one. I'm going to have to check manually. It's the race winner. Right then, first of all, Danny, is your mic on share? I've got to ask the question because sometimes they aren't and it's quite awkward.
Does he even have a mic?
Does he even have a mic, yeah? That's a good question.
Hello, now?
Oh,
hello.
There we go.
Right, is the mic on share?
Wait, let me see. I think so, but I'm not sure.
Nah, we can probably... I'm sure someone in the chat can probably tell us, like... But,
yeah, it's always allowed, yeah.
Okay, good stuff. Right then, so... You've won the race, congratulations. Good start to the season. Was that really the expected thing, though? Were you going to take anything less? You came in here as favourite, you've set blistering lap times all pre-season, and it started exactly the way I guess you would have imagined, so... Did anything go wrong for you today, or was it just as simple as it looked?
Well, today I think qualifying went pretty badly. I had, like on the second and third lap, I had 2 cars entering the pit lane at the same time I was making the corner. So yeah, that made me lost quite a bit in those 2 laps. And then the last one, the last one wasn't a good lap. I also got a bit of traffic in sector 2. But yeah, I think the race was I was pretty easy. I was managing ERS quite well, and yeah, that's it.
Did you ever feel any pressure from the guys behind them? Because we tried to hype it up on the stream quite a lot, but it seemed it was quite hard for people to catch up to. Was that partly the ERS? Because it feels like to me DRS itself isn't actually the important thing in these fights. It's the ERS bit. So you're saying you sort of manage that quite well. And do you reckon that'll be a feature for a lot of these races this season, or is it just tracks like this one where it's long straights and heavy braking zones like that?
I think DRS is still important because it makes you save a lot more ERS than the guy in front. However, today I knew I had a lot of pace, and yeah, I just went for like 10 laps without using ERS at all. That made me have in lap 30 like almost 100% ERS. And then for the last 6 laps, I just pushed, and I knew they weren't going to be able to overtake me.
Other two haven't got my invites, of course. They have got them, but they haven't checked their things. So while I invite them again, have you got anything to ask, Austin? Actually, they won't be able to hear. I'll have to turn it back off. Hold on.
Okay.
Right, talk.
Okay. Danny, you probably haven't experienced it very much over the course of the race yourself, but how much do you think the dirty air was basically slowing down the drivers behind you, was sort of helping you?
Well, I think dirty air depends on the driving style of everyone, because when I'm always behind someone, I don't usually struggle that much as other people say. So I think dirty air is a thing because you obviously can feel it, but I think it also depends on the setup you're using and the driving style you have.
Okay.
Right then, I'm going to invite these other two then, quickly. Hopefully they get the invite this time. That's annoying, but they don't check their notifications. No one ever checks notifications these days. I would ask more questions, but like I say, you can't hear anyone else. It's very annoying. PlayStation do that quite a lot. Right, so you've invited them, and I'm going to invite them as well, just to make... Well, no. Well, they'll get separate invites then. To be absolutely 100% certain, they will get their invites. Ah, he's lying.
Either or in between.
Right, so while we wait for those two, I've got to ask actually again to Danny. Was the start as unsynchronized and broken as it looked? It felt like half the grid didn't get off at the same time as the rest.
No, it wasn't desynchronized at all. Only that
right.
it was a really long launch. It took quite a while, and Buster Racer didn't expect it at all. I got the perfect start, and that's why I got a better start than everyone.
Alright, okay, fair enough. I think Rastros had said in the chat that he thought it was, but yeah, fair enough. It was a good start. It was a good start. I think we've now got Jordan in here. It appears Casper's still having issues, but oh well. Is your voice on share? Just making sure, because I had so many issues.
Yeah, I think it is. I changed it in the party settings.
So your race was sort of made, I guess, by the start itself, because I was just saying about it. It looked a bit desynchronized, but apparently it wasn't. But you'd made yourself plenty of positions. You ran P2 pretty much all day as a result of that, and that's effectively sort of what got you your podium. So how was your race from then? Were you able to keep up with Danny? Did you ever feel like passing him at any point, or was it just too difficult?
Yeah, I was trying to pass Danny like 3 times, but he got a really good exit out of turn 3, so that didn't work, and I didn't want to use a lot of overtake to get past him. Yeah, Danny was just really quick. Sometimes I was struggling to keep up with him, so GG to him. And yeah, the start was, I guess, really weird because some people lights did go out later, but I just nailed the launch for myself and just drove behind Danny the whole race, and yeah, that was my race basically.
All right, anything you've got, Austin?
What I'm interested about is what was your thinking as soon as you got that penalty, those 3 seconds for corner cutting? What was going through your mind, and what were you focusing on and trying to achieve? Was it just keep that P3 and just try not to over race the car or anything, or what was going on there?
Yeah, I was when I got that. I got it after the second warning, so that was really unlucky. But yeah, I was raging first, but after that I was thinking I need to focus now, because otherwise I make more mistakes. And I just wanted to keep the podium spot. That was my only mission from then.
Okay, I find that very interesting. You said you got that after the second warning. What I saw in the race director is that you got 2 warnings in the same lap, which means you probably got them in the same corner and you just didn't realize, which maybe maybe might be maybe might be subject to some sort of review. Maybe we'll see some changes at the green table here, that Jordan does actually get back. I don't know how many warnings you got after that. Did you get another warning after the penalty?
I didn't check my race director yet, so I have my POV saved, so I look after this interview, and if it's necessary, I will report it to the stewards.
Interesting. So we might see some changes here, and Jordan getting back his place. We're getting 2 warnings in the same corner potentially. That's something interesting that I haven't seen on this game before, or any F1 game before. So certainly a very interesting scenario right there.
Right then, we do also have Casper in here eventually. So thank goodness for that. Nice to see you. Was that a surprise second place for you today, or did you have that under control the whole time? Because it seemed you kept that so consistent with not getting warnings and penalties, etc. So were you happy with that?
Yeah, I'm really happy with the end result. Like, at the start, the lights were not synchronized. I think the lights went out later for me and Vaster. That's why we both lost positions at the start. So, like, at the start I was very hyped because I honestly thought Danny and Jordan jumped the start. And I was very surprised it didn't come into the pits at the end of like lap 3. But yeah, I lost the position, and then the safety car obviously came out, so I was actually wanting to do an undercut, but the safety car prevented me from doing that. And then after that, the safety car restarted, I tried to make an overtake on Vaster Racer, and I went down the inside, but I think he didn't see me or something, because he just turned in, and that gave me like that very tiny little bit lime green damage. So I had to carry with that damage for the rest of the second stint. So I was very happy I was still keeping over the DRS train, and I knew keeping it clean was literally the most important thing, and I managed to keep it clean, so that's why I got P2, and I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, well done. Anything for you, Austin, there?
Yeah, so next race will obviously be at Hungary next Monday, and this could go to all 3 of you, but I'm going to start with Casper right now. How much are you looking forward to that race? Obviously a very different track than Austria, and certainly one where you don't have to watch out for corner cutting and track limit extensions as much, but there are obviously some places where you're going to have to watch out for that. But how do you rate your chances? How do you like the track next week?
I really hate the track. It's definitely not one of my favorites, but hopefully I can just do well, especially in the quali, because that's going to be so important with dirty air and everything, especially when the track like Hungary.
Alright, I'm going to send the same question then to Jordan. How do you like the Hungaroring?
Depends on how quick I am at it.
that's a very diplomatic answer.
I like that.
Yeah,
answer.
if I'm outside the top 15, I'm not gonna like the circuit, and if I'm quick, then I love it. So I'm just gonna try and repeat what I did today.
Alright, so your sympathy for the track is solely dependent on how well you can do at it, not whether there's some sort of rhythm to it, or it's fun to drive. It's just about outright pace.
How quick I am.
Alright, fair enough. Danny, what about you?
I hate it.
Wow!
The worst track for me. I hate
like these people.
Scoreboard.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm not the biggest fan of the Hungaroring either. I mean, there's a reason it's called Monaco without the barriers. But those are some strong statements right there, I have to say.
Just one thing I want to ask everyone in general, actually, because obviously this season there's actually prize funds for this. So does this motivate you to practice more, do you reckon, for races?
I'll start if that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, I don't think about the money at the beginning of the season. I just think of performing the best I can on every track and preparing every track as much as possible. So for me at least, it really doesn't matter the money.
Anyone else want to answer that one? Or...
Yeah, I have the same with Danny. Money is something on the side. It will be nice if I can grab it, but I'm not racing for that. I'm racing to be the fastest and to have fun.
Yeah, same for me. I'm also racing for the fun, not for the money. And the money is just something nice which may come to us at the end of the season. But it's definitely not why we keep doing this. I think we all do this for fun and not for the money.
Yeah.
Good answers. I'm liking those answers. Well, congratulations for your podiums today. I know you might not be thinking about it, but you're all in the running for money, so yay, well done. But yeah, as we've been saying, we'll be back next week for the Hungarian Grand Prix. There's racing obviously all week for PSGL. It's been a very successful first week, so thank you to everyone who's been tuning in, supporting, subscribing, notifications on all that. It really helps us all out, and it's great to see so much support for the new game and some great races as well from some great drivers. So cheers to everyone who's been involved. Back next week for some more good racing, and thanks to Austin as well, co-commentator. Lovely time, and the stream didn't crash, so I've kept my job. But I think that'll be how we all finish it off. So cheers for watching. If you aren't subscribed, don't quite know why you wouldn't be. Who would want to miss this? But do please, we're on our road to 600 now, I think. We've been growing massively, so yeah, let's try and get up to there.
We've got 600.
Oh, we did it tonight. Okay, fantastic.
609, yep.
We flew past that one, so cheers to that one. But if you aren't subscribed, still do it. Notifications on. You won't miss any of the 11 tiers of racing we've got. So cheers for watching, and we will all see you next week. Safe travel, everybody, and stay safe.